Okay, so I know I haven't really done a lot of reviews on the MLP comics, but I decided, you know what, because the last two were just little two-part stories that I was just like, those are fun, but the recent two new story arcs that I've read were actually pretty good, but I do have some concerns about them. So this is going to be pretty much, this and the next video are going to be pretty much reviews for the newest two MLP story arcs. And yeah, let's kick things off with the first story arc, starting off with Reflections. Now, it's actually kind of funny, because this story was a four-part story that I read that was more or less, this story came out right after I had just read Grant Morrison's JLA Earth 2. And this is pretty much it. This is JLA Earth 2 if it was done with MLP characters. Now, the thing is with this story is that we find out that Princess Luna is called the Main Six to Canterlot, and something's gone wrong. It turns out Celestia's gone missing, and we discover that she comes back and the literal shit has been beaten out of her, and she tells them that pretty much I was attacked on another world. There is another mirror that leads to a counter Equestria. And in there is a good Sombra. Instead of Luna and Celestia ruling, it's Sombra ruling, and Luna and Celestia are the villains. And yeah, it is pretty much that kind of story where it's just an Earth 2 story. It is a lot of fun, but I do have some reserves to it, because this is more Celestia-centric, and there aren't a lot of stories revolving around Celestia. On the grounds of, I think there's a lot of room to tell stories with Celestia, and this is very Celestia-centric, and it does have a very sad ending. For an MLP comic, this has a very mature ending. Like, this is Batman TAS level ending right here, in my opinion. But anyway, the story goes is that Celestia used this mirror to encounter her and Starsworld. This is another cool thing, is that we actually get to find more of Starsworld the Bearded, who I couldn't help but think of Ian McKellen's voice when he's doing all this. It was just it was kind of like that. So Celestia and Starswirl in the past discovered this mirror and allowed them to travel to a counter Equestria, where Sombra was the good guy and he was the ruler, and Luna was still around. Yeah, there was still a Luna going there. It was in turn, instead of Luna sending Celestia sending Luna, it was the other way around. Sombra and Luna teamed up to send Celestia to the moon, and it was kind of cool. It was like a nice little getaway point for Celestia. She actually fell in love with the Sombra of that universe. That Sombra actually had a really cool design to him. He was this very generous, very kind king, very dashing too. And it started up a romance between Celestia and Earth 2 Sombra. And I'm calling them Earth 2. I know it's supposed to be Equestria, but I'm not saying Equestria all the damn time. But anyway, so with this is that when this other Celestia returned from her exile, she corrupted the Luna of that universe, and together they've been kind of ravaging all kinds of hell all through the universe. So Celestia of Equestria 1, I guess you could say, decides to send the Main Six over into that other universe and pretty much try to help Sombra contain the others, pretty much contain and defeat their evil versions. However, we've come to find out later on that there was something up that Celestia wasn't telling them. It turns out that even though a long time ago Starswirl told them, hey, I just figured out something, the more we cross over into their world, the barrier between our two worlds weaken. So pretty much what was going on was, every time Celestia and Starswirl jumped into that counter-Earth, the walls between their two universes were breaking down. Typical comic book kind of stuff of the two universes, the walls between their two universes weakening. I'm like, I did not expect to see that in the comic book of this nature. But what happens next is that pretty much we find out that even though Celestia promised Starswirl that she'd never go back to that universe, she secretly was to stay with Sombra. And this leads to Starswirl destroying the mirror. He pretty much destroys the mirror, and Sombra and Celestia are separated from their 2 universes. But however, it turns out that Celestia was still keeping it used a magical spell to bridge the 2 worlds together again. Now, here's the kind of the thing, is that this is a really cool story. Don't get me wrong, this is a really fun, really cool story. But the thing is with this story is that it takes a lot and it is a cool way to have a good Celestia-centric story. But here's the problem. And maybe it's just me, but they really they take an entire issue of this 4-part story to explain the whole romance between Sombra and Celestia. And don't get me wrong, it's cool to branch out that character and to show that Celestia does have some weakness to her. She's not this ethereal, godlike being that is perfect in every way. She does have her own weaknesses. And in that, it kind of caused not 1, but nearly 2 worlds to completely be destroyed. So in that regard, it is cool, but on the other hand, it should not take an entire issue, because that literally had a whole flashback of just Celestia telling Luna of her whole story of, pretty much, hey, while you were gone, I was doing this with Star Swirl. We were having a grand old time. Paraphrasing, of course. But that was the thing, was that it didn't need to take up an entire 2 issues. In fact, really, the whole the first issue, the first part of this story was more like, where's Celestia? Where the fuck's Celestia? And then it's them talking about going there. Then the other half of that second part is them going there. Third part is Celestia telling Luna while Sombra and the others are engaging in their plan. And the fourth part is just pretty much that. And the ending it's really cool to see all of them, fight the evil Celestia and Luna and try to find a way to use the elements of harmony. This is where we find out something, is that whenever Celestia and Luna of that universe are hurt, the Celestian universe of the other universe are hurt as well, so they basically share the same pains. But, however, Sombra figures out a really good idea, and it's a sacrificing one, is that he has to become, because their Sombra's gone, he has to equalize everything and become the evil Sombra. So pretty much he corrupts himself and turns himself into the evil Sombra, and then and they manage to close the portals. And yeah, I did not expect this, because at the ending story, it's Sombra as evil Sombra, pretty much now completely corrupted, and he's crying that he can't be with Celestia anymore. Not just because of the 2 worlds closing up. I was like, damn. That is, like I said earlier, that is like Batman animated series level ending right there. There's a bit more to the Sombra, and I like it. I do think it was a very well thought out, the romance between Celestia and Earth 2 Sombra. I thought it was a really interesting romance kind of story, and it was a very tragic, almost Romeo and Juliet-esque kind of story as well. But it should not have taken a whole story to dedicate that. But I do like the writing in here. The action was really good. The art is really fun, very reminiscent of the show in a very way. Evil Celestia and Luna are terrifying. I kind of wish we got to see the reverse main 6. I kind of wish we got to see them, but all we got to see of them was that they were hiding out in a little bunker and they didn't get to do anything. I kind of wished we got to see the 6 versus the reverse 6. I kind of wish we got to see that, because they were wanted criminals. And we do find out that the main 6 of that universe are Chrysalis, Discord, Flim and Flam, Trixie, and Derpy. I would have loved to see a story of that, because apparently in that universe, Chrysalis and Discord are knights of knights of justice, and they're defending the southern regions, or was it the northern? I can't remember. And yeah, I kind of wish I wanted to see that. But all in all, I still like the Nightmare. I think the Nightmare Rarity story is my favorite, but this is a good one too. This is another fun one for me. Really enjoyed this. If you're a fan of MLP, you're probably reading the comic book as well. But I really did enjoy this. It was a fun story, and again, I think it was more than coincidence. I think it just is kind of funny, not coincidence. I'm sorry. I think it was kind of hilarious that I just read Grant Morrison's Earth 2, and now I'm pretty much getting an Earth 2, JLA Earth 2 in pony form. So I thought that was really funny. But yeah, despite everything, the little tiny things I had here and there, this is really fun. Luna, though, is kind of a bitch to everybody in this story. That's another thing. I'm a huge Luna fan, so I find it kind of weird that she was shouting at everyone and being a complete bitch to everyone. I understand and you find out that it was a lot of stress because she felt kind of, she felt kind of sad that her sister managed to find a life without her for a bit. But they do reconnect with that. Celestia and Luna do reconnect on that, and I was very thankful for that. But Luna is such a bitch to everyone in this story. It's also fun to see her she also has a possum as a pet now. That's still in continuity with their comics because she in one of the standalone stories she finds a possum and makes it her pet, which I think is hilarious. But anyway, so that's pretty much my review. You guys, hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.